What's up, everybody? Big Cop Diesel coming at you, and I just want to make a quick video to do a reaction on the story out of Detroit where the security guard was kidnapped and duct taped. So apparently the security guard was working at a marijuana processing plant over in Hazel Park, and the way the story is written, at least the one that I saw, talks about the fact that 4 armed assailants went to that site. They disarmed the security guard, duct taped him, threw him in the back of his own car, because apparently he was sitting, his post was to sit in his vehicle outside of this facility. And then the assailants, it doesn't specify in what order this happened, but I would imagine they disarmed him first, kind of took him out of the mix. They didn't kill him. Apparently they didn't beat him up. But they made sure he wasn't a factor, and then they proceeded to ram a hole into the building using a U-Haul. They stole approximately 40 vapes or vape cartridges, which I'm assuming has marijuana in it. It's not my thing, so I don't know, but I have to assume, right? Because it's a marijuana processing plant. And they drove the security guard a couple blocks away and apparently let him go, or he managed to escape somehow. And they caught 2 of the people of the 4, is what the story says. So my reaction to that is a couple things. Number one is I'm gonna beat up on this poor security guard a little bit. And the reason why is because this security guard very obviously was not paying attention to his surroundings. So that's one thing. And then he obviously didn't have a plan on what to do. And to be fair to the security guard, he probably never even imagined in his mind that 4 armed guys would run up on him and do what they did. But guys, this is what I talk about. You have got to always be aware of your surroundings, and you have to run scenarios through your mind. You have to run scenarios through your mind. When you're sitting on post, you should say, okay, if I'm sitting here, can somebody approach me without me knowing about it? And if they can I change the position that I'm in so that I can maintain surveillance on the area that I'm at, so I can see people coming and going? Did these guys brandish a firearm as they, were they walking up with rifles? And again, the story doesn't say whether they had rifles or pistols or what, but did the security guards see these armed guys coming towards him with firearms? Were they able to come up from behind and put a gun in his face? I mean, these are all questions we don't know the answer to right now. But the bottom line is that this security guard very obviously was not prepared. He didn't war game in his mind this as an eventuality. Luckily, nothing happened. I'm surprised, actually, because of the violent nature of the crime. Maybe these guys just decided they didn't want to hurt anybody, which is very plausible. It's not common these days, but anything's possible. But I was surprised to see that they didn't even beat him up. The story doesn't talk about his firearm. They disarmed him, so did they leave the firearm afterwards? Did they take the firearm? These are all questions that we don't know the answer to right now. So I just want this to be a lesson to you guys, because that's the purpose in these reaction videos. It's not necessarily to beat up on somebody, but obviously if people are doing stupid stuff, I'm going to call it out, because I would expect somebody to call me out if I'm doing something stupid. But it's a learning situation, right? It's a learning opportunity, a learning moment. So I don't do cannabis security, but those of you that do, I'm sure you know better than I do, so please drop some comments below and let me know what your thoughts are. But I've seen more than one story where the security guard is either inside the building, like sometimes I guess they have a vestibule of some kind where there's 2 doors that people have to enter through, so the security guard might be stationed there, or they might be outside. But at any rate, security guards are getting getting assaulted. Some have been shot. So those of you that work in that cannabis stuff, man, you're better than me, because the money's not that good. There is a demonstrated risk doing that. All you got to do, if you've been working security for any amount of time, is compare the risk that you have sitting on a cannabis site compared to the risk you have sitting on any other site you've ever worked. And I would imagine for most of you that the threat is higher working the cannabis site than it was maybe sitting at the information desk of an office or sitting in the parking lot of a factory or whatever, right? So because of that, this kind of ties into another video I made where I talked about stop doing these armed security jobs for less than $30 an hour, guys. There is no reason for you to be sitting on any site with a gun on your hip for less than $30 an hour. And I'm talking about a site where nothing's going on. They just have you there to check a box. So if you're on a site where there's an actual demonstrated threat to the industry as a whole, yeah, that cannabis site you're sitting on may not have had any issues, but you got to look across the industry. We got to look at the trend. And this goes back to what I tell you guys, you got to demand more money. As long as there's knuckleheads out there that's willing to sit on these sites for $20 and $25 an hour, the companies are going to keep paying it. Stop doing that, okay? If you don't want to work a cannabis site and you want to get better contracts, you want to make more money, you got to start stacking those certifications, guys. So, but that's my reaction. If more information comes out, or if you guys know any more information about that particular incident, please drop it in the comments below. Hopefully the security guard is going to be okay. It sounds like they didn't beat him up or anything, so that's good. Hopefully he's learned a lesson from this, and hopefully he'll be more on point. And again, this should serve as a warning to all of us. You cannot get complacent, guys. Complacency kills. Listen, I get it. I've been doing this stuff a long time. I understand the boredom. Trust me. When I first started in security, we didn't have cell phones to occupy us. We didn't have all that shit. You were lucky if you could get a radio that worked, or if you were in an office building, maybe a TV or something like that. But, you know, these phones are taking up way too much of our attention, especially when we're sitting on a site, especially on a site where there's an element of danger, guys. Complacency kills. So keep your head on a swivel, and you guys stay safe until next time. Cobb Diesel out.